What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm here with the Wolfman himself, David Williams. Do you still go by the Wolfman, or you let that go?
Nah, still going by the Wolfman.
Yep.
Yeah, started a few businesses wrapped around that. So,
Okay.
yeah, definitely following through with it.
How you been, bro?
Good, yourself?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Very good. So you retired 2015. I'm 13. But how's life been? If you could sum up in one sentence how life's been since you retired, how's it been?
A journey.
A journey.
A journey.
Yep.
Yeah. Started out thinking I was going to do one thing.
Yep.
Turned out not to be the right avenue. Still all in fitness and health related. And then molded into training kids now.
Yep.
So that's where the Wolfies comes in. It's called Little Wolfies.
Oh, how good's that?
Train 3 to 5 year olds. So
Yep.
they take on that caricature.
Yep.
And teach them, movements based on animals'
Yep.
characteristics. And then now going into more of a corporate role or workplace health and wellness programs.
How good's that? I love the name and the concept because, especially young, even men and women or boys and girls now, the idea of a wolf, the strength, the mentality of it as well, but also the movements is fun for kids and they can they're playing whilst they're learning kind of thing.
Yeah, and that was one of the pillars for it, like create an imagination game.
Yep.
So they learn about both habitat, animals, environment, and then also,
That's interesting.
yeah, they take that animal and they remember the animal.
Yep.
They won't remember how to do a squat properly, but you say jump like a frog, they know exactly how to do that,
That's
or they can at
crazy.
least picture it. So then the whole idea is you go in and you train them, and then they remember that so they can go play with their parents or their siblings at home.
Yep.
So then it just builds healthy habits, and then creates better humans.
How good is that? And all tied into the environment thing and movement and yeah, that's really cool, man. I didn't know that. I mean, as I said, I knew you were in health, but I didn't know specifically what that was. But I really like the concept. Really like the concept.
Well, that's only been a year old anyway.
Oh, okay, so pretty new.
Kind
Yeah.
of fell into that role through friends of friends who wanted something
Okay.
in their childcare, and then because I was doing PTing and even working on another health program that's coming out soon as well. They said, why don't you try this age group instead of the older ones? So,
And I guess there's multiple things there. Like that age group, parents will spend anything to give them as good a because if I remember correctly, from I think it's 1 to 5, 90% or something of the brain is developed. So you got
kids are sponges, yeah.
Yeah, so you got to wonder physically how much balance and everything like that comes into play if they're doing that at a young age.
And it's also social and cognitive as well. So they start to learn how to move around other kids.
Yep.
And then you know your spatial awareness. So there's all that involved as well.
Oh, that's so true. Because my nephews, so my sister had two sons to a Tongan, and the Tongan is about 6'4", 120 kilos, giant, and the kids are massive.
Yeah.
And they don't know, especially
How big they are.
They don't know how big and
Yeah.
strong they are. So they stand next to so one's 6, and he stands next to other 6-year-olds, and he looks like he's freaking 9 or 10. And the other one's just thick, and he's 5. And you're right, they don't actually know. They might be playing with a girl and just be throwing her. It's whoa, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
That's how
interesting.
they treat with their brothers and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Awesome.
It's so funny though, because when I go back to visit those two, whenever a man's in that vicinity, they get real physical and they want to show it. It's funny how it all works like that. But yeah, that's awesome, bro. So you been watching any footy?
Up until I started having a bit more of a look this year, probably watched about a total of a game and a half.
Yeah,
since I finished.
Yep, I was the same,
Just one of them was a grand final because I watched with a mate. I think that was the Sharks one, whatever that
bro.
was.
Shark Storm, yep.
Yeah, and then started watching more of the boys this year, Daly and Jimmy,
Yep.
Beer and that. So just started to follow the boys, not really caring too much about it. Haven't watched the whole game, but just watched scores and
Yes.
keeping up to date with glutes out for the boys.
Well, that's the main thing to keep up with. The glutes
Exactly
for the boys
right.
is a movement, bro. It's a movement.
Nothing like a movement when it involves glutes.
It's funny because when I quit, I was we may have different reasons. Maybe you just don't have the passion for it anymore. But I've always loved sport, but I just couldn't watch it. I just didn't. I don't want to go near it. I don't want to think about it. I didn't want to see. I didn't want to get that same anxiety that I used to get when I played, and that worry and that holy shit and all that kind of shit. Whereas now I really am a fan. I enjoy it as a fan.
That's good.
And what was the feeling for you? Was it more just I've moved on from that part of my life?
It was more just I've seen enough.
Yeah.
It all ends up being the same.
Yeah.
Well, if you go in on a Monday, you're watching a whole game and a half.
Yeah.
for the one you just played. Then you got to watch the one you're ahead. Then you got to watch the one individually. Then the one with your either backs or forwards. And then you watch one as the whole team. So it's enough football for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's one of the first questions everyone asks. Like, do you still watch footy? No, don't watch a game.
Yeah,
they can't understand why. But when you
explain,
exactly right.
And and that people even say like, as I said, like it took me fucking years to watch a game, like years to finally be refreshed enough mentally to just like go in with a new mindset of like, you know, like just enjoy whatever's happening instead of sitting there going, oh, this is happening. So, but and people always say like, do you play? And I say, to be honest, I couldn't think of anything worse right now to play footy. Like. Only because, like, someone, I'll just play for fun. I'm like, well, I feel like a lot of NRL players, like, don't get me wrong, there are a lot that would play for fun.
Cliffy Lyons.
Yeah, I mean, but he's so ridiculously good. But I feel like there is a large percentage of players that their love for it doesn't outweigh their competitiveness. So, for example, if I went back to play, I want to win and go as hard as I can. Yeah, and I don't want to have to deal with that shit every week.
For someone like me, I'd end up hurting myself too much anyway with my track record.
Take us back to a young Wolfman, you know, born in 86?
86, yeah.
So were you born in New South Wales?
Yeah, all Sydney raised. Yep. Born in Darlinghurst and then raised out in the Hills Districts.
Darlinghurst? It's a nice area.
I only know that because it's on the passport.
Oh, really?
I think it was just the hospital visit.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I was going to say, damn, silver spoon. Okay, so was it, at what age did you start sport at, 4, 5, like the usual kind of path? Or?
Yeah, I think I was earlier 4 or late 3 just because...
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know really, but I know my brother was playing, and I couldn't stay off the park to watch. Oh, really? I had to run on.
Oh, really?
So they were just like, we'll go and roll him when he was 5 and say, stuff it, just put him on now.
Yeah, just get him on
he went in early. I think I was 4 that year, but 3 at the time. So.
And was it something that, so for example, for me personally, like that was like from 4 till I retired, that was my fucking life, like sport. Like, don't get me wrong, I still got education, went to uni and everything, but like, still, sport was my life. Was it something you just did for fun initially, or?
I think it was always fun, but it would never. I couldn't not do it. It's that competitive nature that you spoke about. If it wasn't that, I would have been doing something else. Would have been, base jumping or playing another sport, whatever it was. I had to involve myself somehow physically.
Okay.
I always used to say that footy was my anger management.
Oh, really?
So I just had to release, or really it was energy.
Yeah.
I said a shit ton of energy.
Yep.
And just had to release it somehow, and the best way is to run into a brick wall permanently.
Get teared up every week.
Yeah, exactly right.
And so at what age did you start to kind of move into making rep sides and everything like that? Did you make rep sides?
I think the first one I made was when I was 15. It wasn't really a rep side. It was more of a summer camp type thing.
Yeah, okay.
So... and then the first one I made was Mats, so that's 16s. And then, after that, kept continuing on through the Mats, SG ball flag, reserve grade until I went over to Manly.
Okay, so over to Manly, were you at the Eels?
All that was at Parry,
Parry Eels. Yeah. Okay, wow, at the Eels. And so what was the kind of, I guess, were you good at other sports? Like, there's some freaks that are just like, fucking playing every sport. Like Zach Lomax, for example, made Australia for literally everything there is, even netball. And he, so what was it like for you? Were you just focused on footy, or you were kind of multiple sports?
I played cricket as well, but it was boring as all hell.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the one thing. I think I gave that up at 12. And then my school teacher got me back just to play for fun. It was just for Thursday sport, so it didn't matter too much. And then, so basically it was all footy.
Yeah.
I'd be out playing, with the ball or stuff like that, wherever I could, but nothing too more organised than footy. And then by the time you hit 17, 16 even, it takes over the school part and then also the weekends as well. So you're fully booked for the whole year. So
especially when you're in the Harold Mats and everything like that, and you're in the system. So you're at the Eels, and at what point did you start going, wow, I might enter an NRL system here?
Initially, probably when I first joined their squad, I think I would have been. It was their Jets program. So after school, they got Junior Education Training Scheme. That's their program. I don't know if they're still running it, but they take you out of school, or not say take you out. You finish year 12, and then for those who won't go on to uni or whatever, or even going to uni, they'd make sure you're doing an education program.
Yep.
And then you train extra with them during those 2-year periods. They're usually 2-year contracts. So 19 and 20 was that. And then I bounced around with the education side.
Yep.
But they would organise it.
Okay.
So it was pretty well run. John Hutchinson used to run it, and he's on the board now at NRL for the same kind of thing. So deals with the well-being and that kind of stuff. So he was really good about it.
Ahead of his time, really.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that whole program was, because what's that? That's 13 years ago now.
Yeah.
So yeah, did that and had that extra training, but it never, like, injuries always got in the way. Like, you think NRL was bad, like I was even worse.
Oh, really?
Beforehand, yeah.
What did you get? What happened?
What did I do? 2 hand surgeries.
How old are you at this
on the
stage?
thumb. That was late. I did my HSC for the second one. Or first one. No, the first one I did my HSC with. The second one I did during that 19 and 20 year old periods.
Yeah.
Popped the shoulder my last year of reserve grade, which would have been 21. So that was 27 times I subluxed it just for fun.
You subluxed it 27 times?
Yeah, it comes into how actually the whole mentality behind it, because there was that, I split my face open, like all kinds of stuff, just headbutt.
And for people listening, sublux is dislocation.
Yeah, so they don't even call it that anymore, I don't think, some new term, whatever. But basically, that was my last year of footy at reserve grade. I would have been 21 that year. And it was just, you had no more contract. Footy was done. I'd been injured every single time, like all the way through. So they were just like, nothing else was doing. I was like, stuff it. I'll play out the year. Shoulder's ruined. Doesn't matter. I'll get the surgery. See you later. Go do another life.
Yeah.
And that's when I got the call from Crusher. And he goes, would you come play for Manly?
Yep.
So, all right, we'll give it another spin. And then that's when that happened. So,
oh, wow.
So all that, like when you're talking about where you're thinking, oh, an NRL career. No, I was mentally retired before I played first grade.
That's crazy. Yeah. So in your head, you were just like, this has been good, but my body's just not up to it.
It was, it wasn't even like the body's not up to it. If that was the case, then I wouldn't have gone to Manly type thing. It was just true, like, I'm not getting picked up. Okay. I've been playing reserve grade for 3 years now. Because I think I was up there when I was 18.
Yep.
Yeah. So doing that, and it's just, like, you're not getting picked up. This is no longer going to be a thing for you. Play out the year, have some fun. Like we made the final that year too, and I had to miss it. So traded off quite well with the year after.
Yeah.
And that was it.
You know what's crazy is, and people don't know this unless they were in the system, when we were coming through, if you hadn't made it by 18, 19, 20, 21,
same thing.
Gone.
Well, that year, so Hainsey was, I think he's 3 years younger than me.
Yeah.
He was playing first grade. So he got picked up from ball or wherever he was playing and playing on the wing when he was 18.
Yep.
And then you've got like all us group of blokes who have been doing the Jets program and all that kind of thing. And, they're still choosing him for forehand with very good reason. But you know what I mean? Like if they're already looking at the kids that age, and Chris Naninu was in the same realm.
Good. Yeah.
Exactly right. And then he got brought up. So you're just like, all that's going into play. You're like, all right, I'm not cut out for this.
Yeah. And a lot of, again, like people don't realize, a lot of squads back then, they had like 18 to 21 year olds, even less, maybe even 17 to 20 year olds. And then if you didn't make it and hadn't played NRL, they kind of just brushed you. Yeah. There wasn't really like 25-year-old wingers just hanging around getting paid.
Leroy Bennett, actually.
Really?
He was playing reserve grade. He's a mate of mine. He was, I think he's capped as the most amount of reserve grade games.
Oh, really?
Just as a GM. Yeah.
It's a great pub, man.
Yeah.
And so like, because I remember, like, I look back now and I'm like, you're a fucking so dumb. But I stopped playing soccer when I was 17. I debuted when I was 19. And even I was like, that's too late. Like, I need to make my debut, and I'm starting to get older and older.
Yeah, exactly.
And
you're an old 19-year-old.
Yeah, I was 19. Whereas nowadays, if a 19 makes his debut, they carry on like it's 19 years old debut. Yeah. And I feel like back when we were coming through, that was just normal. Like you were 19, 20, 21, you came through, and if you were 24 and you just didn't debut at 24, especially as a winger, maybe as a forward.
Yeah,
wingers and fullbacks. That
was still the case. I think they made a big deal about a halfback at Para made a debut at 24 or 25.
Yeah.
Because that was unheard of.
Yeah, yeah.
And even though he'd been in the system for the whole time and ended up playing, 50 or so games.
Yeah.
It was, just...
It's crazy. It's weird, how it's changed. I think, like, clubs have realised, like, we can't just keep getting rid of these guys just because they don't make it before 20 years old.
No, exactly right.
Because, look at Cody Walker, 26.
Yeah.
And he's on the verge of fucking Origin.
Yeah.
He's got 10 tries and 10 try assists this year.
There you go.
Exactly what is going on? There's only been 9 rounds. Okay, so you go to Manly, and so this is 2007.
That's 2007.
Yeah, okay. So
start of the 2008 preseason.
It's funny, I made my debut against Manly in that year, 2007.
Really?
Yeah. At Brookvale.
I was trying to think, actually. Did you play left wing for the Bronx?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would have scored. So someone asked me the other day, they said, oh, how'd you go in your first game?
Don't tell me it was at Suncorp.
Yeah, April. So he said this, he goes, did you score a try or anything? I said, no, I had a runaway. Someone ran me down. It was probably Darbs. And I said, but I do remember someone scoring on me. I don't think it was Darbs. And then I remember, I just thought, it's probably you.
What was it your
I
fault?
jammed in way too far.
Yep.
Big long ball from Lockyer and then bang in the corner.
Sure. Oh, man.
So thanks,
Good
mate.
times. No worries at all.
Hey,
that was a
team
me.
next week, so it worked.
Blame Lockie, bro. That's not me. I'm just standing there. Lockie did it, everything.
Can't blame him.
Okay, so 2007 you come to the into the system, and did you start kind of like were you in a full-time system before that, or just in resis?
It was kind of it was a full-time thing, but it wasn't like a full-time contract. So you know how you used to have like your top 25, but then you used to drag another 7?
Yep.
We had probably another 14 with Para.
Yep.
So we'd be a part of that. So I'd
Okay.
go to the summer camps and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
You'd still be kind of all right. I think back in the day it was like, I don't know how much money it even was, but it wasn't.
Oh, so when I debuted, when I was in that same position, I was on 25k.
It would have been about that or probably less.
Yeah.
So then that was like, you're the fringe.
Yep.
So that was part of the Para one.
Okay.
And then going into Manly, it ended up being all right. I think it was on minimum as soon as those got there.
So that would
which
be
was
50.
Yeah.
50 in match payments.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. And
Yep.
that was part of the 25 squad. So that was the first proper squad.
Yep. Okay.
So you're actually on the books, top 25. This
Yep.
is it. You know what I mean?
And did you feel when you became fully part of that full-time squad, and they're like really looking at you, like the full-time player, did you start responding your body and playing wise as well that year?
I kind of, the mentality I went in with because of everything that happened previously was just quite literally, fuck it, go for broke.
Yeah. Okay.
It was just literally that. And so everything was 100 miles an hour, no matter what was going on. It was funny. They actually they were blowing up at Crusher, especially the physio mob and the medical team.
So Crusher for people listening?
Not Clill.
Not cool. Yep.
Not Clill. So the bloke who brought me across.
Yep.
So he was the development officer at Para, had a falling out, whatever, went to Manly, and then he got me there. He's famous for bringing Killer, Jamie Lyon, into the realm. And then, he brought him across back to Manly after he was in UK.
Oh, really?
That's how he came over, yeah.
Wow.
So Crusher's getting blown up because my last game for Para, we played against Manly in reserve grade, and then they go, righto, who's this new bloke? Point out, and I've got everything strapped.
Oh, no.
You can't see it, but both ankles, both knees. I've almost got torpedoes on, but they're the long skins. And you know what they're like back in the day too. They were.
So bad.
Yeah, exactly. And both wrists and a shoulder. Just the one shoulder. It was that one actually. Yeah, just the shoulder. So you could see that too. And we didn't have, in Reggies, we didn't have any of the skin coloured stuff.
Yeah.
So everything was white.
Oh,
So everything's showing.
Yeah.
And they just go, they're blowing up. What have you done?
Oh,
We're not
really?
going to, why did you buy that? He's basically halfway on his way to Luco, man, anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's just...
So they blew up because they thought you bought a dud that's basically injured. Doesn't matter how good he is, he's going to be injured.
Correct. He's already got all these issues.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was the funny side of that. But yeah, so then everything...
Did you know about that then or later on?
I think I found out quite soon after I got to Manly.
Oh, wow. Did that rattle you? Or were you like, you know what, I'll prove him wrong?
I was just like, I came into rehab.
Yeah.
And I think one of the physios or someone just goes, oh, you're the guy. I'm like, what do you mean? Then I found off someone else that was going on.
The strapping guy.
Yeah.
The Petro Civiniceva of wingers.
Exactly right. Run like a front row as well, without the body. So then everything was just go for broke. So just playing whatever.
And so that was, so you got in the top squad, you play reserve grade the whole year?
Reserve grade until I made my debut. So I only played until, I think it was April.
Yep.
So what's that, like round 5? Something
Okay.
like that. So I played 5 rounds. And then I was playing fullback. Never played wing before. And then...
you hadn't played wing yet? So you were a fullback?
I filled in, but not like as a winger.
As a winger,
like
yeah,
a fullback going across. So, mate, I played every position. In 1 year at Para, I played every position but 5'8".
Like as in forwards as well?
Yeah, hooker, front row, back row. Yeah, they used to just give me...
No wonder your body was fucked.
Probably,
Fucking hell.
They used to give you 17 and then just go, I couldn't be changing numbers for you all the time. You get 17, you could be starting, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Oh, wow.
So I was fullback, and I was actually playing quite well at fullback. But then Mick Barney went down.
Yep.
And then it was like, well, you're going into wing.
Okay.
How
Was
do
this
you feel?
2007 or 8?
This was 8.
8, yep.
Yeah.
So you had that first full year in reserve grade at Manly?
No.
Oh, so you were still at Penrith? Okay,
Yeah.
And then
So
2008.
7 was para.
Okay,
Had my shoulder done then, and then that wrapped around into the next season. Yeah.
I see.
So November was the
Yep.
7 I was talking about. So then Barney went down, and it was basically like, how you feel about playing wing? Great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Put me there anytime, whatever. I'll do the job for you.
How did the call come about? Were you expected? Were you like...
I don't remember it that well, but I'm pretty sure I just got pulled into Desi's office and goes, because we're in Brisbane.
Yep.
And he said, we're taking you up. Get ready to play. Actually, no, it must have been more than that because of my folks came up as well. So, yeah, I think he said, I'm going to give you a shot this week, Barney's down. You're going to play this position and, go have fun.
And so what was that feeling like? Because you'd been through so many injuries. Like 6 months before, you're sitting there going, I got no contract. My body, my shoulders stuffed. Like, I'm just going to get it and see you later. What was the feeling like?
Very surreal, obviously, but it was, I don't know, I don't really remember that one too much.
Yep.
Because it was like, oh, sweet. It's still the same system. Still going for broke. Just go have fun.
Yep.
And go, obviously nervous as all hell and shit bricks beforehand and after.
Suncorp.
And during when, this bloody winger ran around.
Please.
And then, Suncorp as well.
Yep.
And that was obviously, I think that stadium was only relatively new then as well.
Yeah, I think it's like a couple years. So, it was still like considered like, wow, fuck, Suncorp.
Yeah, exactly right. And obviously, and never played anywhere around the country other than local Sydney. And then that was it. And, you're playing against the side that you had that year with the boys.
Crazy.
So
I wish we met you in the finals so badly, bro. We would actually, you wouldn't have pumped us 40-0, I don't reckon. You might have won, but not 40-0.
That's what they all say.
What could have been. So what do you remember from the debut? Like, what's something that stands out?
Oh, I remember the game. So I remember Crusher was the one that gave me my jersey. Noel Cleo. I remember the game. I remember that try. I remember runaway. I remember getting smacked. It was, I remember the whole thing. I remember it was a Sunday. It was all fantastic.
What about when you ran out and you was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty confronting. But at the same time, it was just like,
it's on.
This is awesome. Yeah.
There
was there seemed to be no pressure because there was no fuck up for me.
Yeah.
There wasn't, you know what I mean? It was just,
because you
shouldn't be here anyway.
Yeah.
So who cares? Go nuts.
It's a good attitude to have because like that can ease so much pressure.
Oh, I wish I carried that through the rest of it.
Yeah.
Through the rest of the
builds
career.
back on you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's so true. That's you know what I struggle with that too. Like when I made my debut, I had this bizarre confidence. Like I felt like Superman. I was like, no one can touch me. Sounds fucking cocky or whatever, but it's just how I felt. And I had a good debut, and it wasn't like. As the career went on, I had all these coaches like telling me this and telling me that, and like don't do this and don't do that, and I'm like my confidence just get chopping it down.
Yeah.
And I just like before I knew it, I was like on the field thinking too much
You're
about
in
everything.
your head already.
Yeah, like I'm like,
else was in there too.
Fuck, can't do that. Oh, he told me not to do this. Whereas like when I made my debut, I was like, I'm, again, sounds cocky, but just the way I felt, like I'm the man. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
But that's what they look for now, and they look for then as well. They look for confident players.
But they
rip
it out of you.
They rip it out of you as well at the same time. So
And so you make your debut, get picked the next week, and you played the rest of the year, eh?
Played the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And that was the 08 year.
Walk us through that year, bro. Crazy.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty good. I remember, because I was only on the fringes of that team, so basically, like, we had a full preseason, but it was still very early doors for me getting to know the boys and all that kind of stuff. So, I remember one thing which really... I remember more the social stuff, actually.
As you do.
We had a game at Brookie, and it was Luke Williamson's 30th.
Yeah.
And so we played the Chooks and we absolutely slaughtered them. It was fantastic. And then we had a dress-up party afterwards. And I just remember, like, this is how much, like, I don't want to say didn't care, but, like, kind of how relaxed I was.
Yeah.
The morning of the game, I was sitting across the road from my house in Cremorne, stuffing a volleyball full of bark and sticks because I dressed up to his party that night as Wilson. Castaway. And then had the volleyball with Wilson. So... and that was just kind of the year that it was and how it all played out.
It all like came together.
Everything was just, it was just all good. Like we lost games, training was good, just constantly just going for broke. And then, the year resulted in the way it did.
So you start picking up that momentum and it was basically us, Storm and yourselves. Sharks made a late run, but they ended up getting used by the Storm. when did you start getting that belief? That belief where you're like, oh, we're the best in the comp here, or we can't be beaten. When do you remember when you started getting that confidence?
Not really, because I remember we got beat by the Bunnies in round 24 or something late.
Yeah.
And then the talk around it, I remember everyone saying, "Oh, it's the one you had to lose." It was like you had to lose because we're on a roll too. I think it was like eight in a row.
Yeah.
Leading up into that, and I was like, and we lost by the stupidest stuff, like drop balls.
Yeah.
I remember cutting inside Beaver, and he tipped it on the outside. And everyone's blowing up, like, why did you go to the inside? There was so much room. Yeah. And it wasn't until the video later that both were an option.
Okay, yeah.
So, anyway, like all that happened. Like the score
work.
was 34-28 or 34-26, something ridiculous. Like a 20 score. Anyway, so that happened. And then it was like, that kind of, not set us back, but that like was reset everything. Okay. So you might we're having a good run through that period when we beat the Chooks as well. And it was just like, all right, this is getting pretty good.
Yep.
Melbourne was always a bastard to beat that year, so that was always like,
always tough.
And after the year before, when they played the 7 grand final, that was always the one they wanted to beat. So it kind of, it was all rolling through that way.
And so the semi-finals roll round. Who'd you play in the semis? Was it Sharks first? They lost, and then
no, they were the other side. Dragons and Warriors. So we Dragons first week. Won that week off, Warriors to go into the finals.
Yep. So you beat the Warriors.
I think that was the year the Warriors beat Melbourne.
Yeah, they do have a good record against Melbourne.
Yeah, that was the first year they knocked us. So that was, remember, the old system, so 1 versus 8.
Yep.
I think they knocked them off. So Melbourne had to play a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
Melbourne didn't get the week off.
They came, played us, and fucking, we had a late drop ball and they scored. And we dominated the whole game. I remember in the game.
Say that to the mic.
Makes me very upset thinking about it. Very upset. Like I just so close. We had the side, man. Michael Innes, Darren Lockyer, Pedro Sivanasiva, Carmichael Hunt, Justin Hodges, Darius, Brad Thorne. Damn it. Anyway, so we dropped the ball late on. They scored to beat us right on the buzzer, and the whole game I remember thinking like we are in control of this game. Like we should be ahead by more. We've dominated them, and I also remember thinking like this isn't the usual Storm. Like they're usually much harder than this. Like the tackling, the all their grapples usually much harder. Anyway, we ended up losing. They went to the finals, but so when they beat the Sharks the next week, and then came into the finals, was there not chat, but or a feeling of like we remember what happened last year, or
I think there was kind of like what remembered what they did last year, but also like just that eagerness to get over the top of them. Because ever since, like I don't know where it started, but it definitely, if it didn't start earlier, definitely started in 07. Just that rivalry between the two clubs.
Were you playing when they had that massive fight?
That's when I broke my neck.
Oh, really?
So I got carried off 2 plays later. That happened.
So that was 2011.
11.
Okay, so later on. We'll get to that then.
Yeah. So that was always just like, if they're in it, like it didn't matter who it was, but the fact that it was them was just like, obviously it didn't matter so much to me because I wasn't in that team last year, where practically the whole team was the same as the year before. So there's obviously that like this needs to happen differently this year.
Yeah. And so grand final week rolls around. You're in your first year of NRL. Last year you were quitting. You were done. What's the feeling like?
Pretty bloody good. I think it was a good week. I can't remember too much about it. It's just a lot of pulling and tugging from media and
kind of get caught up in the flow of events.
Exactly right. But at the same time, it was just seen as a nuisance. So to me, because it's not playing football, it's all the whatever.
Yeah.
But it was just to have fun with it. So everywhere I went, like I remember we had the breakfast or whatever, just end up screwing around because I was between, I was next to Skivvy and, Maddie and Jamie Lyon. So I just end up just talking shit most of the time. Yep. Yeah, making fun of him. And Skivvy had his hair out like that, I think, at the time.
The big afro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Full one. Okay. He had it going. And then, so just made fun of everything.
Yep.
Turned everything into a fun situation. Didn't take anything too seriously. And then game day rolls around and it's all butterflies and poop in the pants.
And so, actually, I'll take it back. Who was a guy when you walked in first to the Manly squad that you're like, damn, that's such and such?
I kind of don't remember that happening because I rocked up. Two things. I was there early because everyone else played the final. So they brought in the guys earlier. And two, I was in rehab for the first 2 months.
Oh, my God.
Probably, yeah. So this is the other thing about that whole getting to know the boys. I was on my own for 2 months. So surgery was in August. So 6 months from then. You're not back playing until the trial was my first game. And then, so you've got that first 2 months where you're not even seen.
Yep.
And then, so.
A little bit different in those days too, because they didn't understand the mental health of like being isolated like that. Rehab was kind of like you're out in the middle of nowhere. They changed it a bit now to try to get the boys back in with the squad, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
But
Still wasn't like that right at the end either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well,
which is stupid.
You might be out there running next to them, but that was only because you had to be on the field at the same time while you're doing similar stuff. Okay. So it was, it was never, walk. Basically, I couldn't do anything because I couldn't run. Gym's over there, field's all the way over there. So,
how tortures. Okay, so grand final week rolls around. You walk in, your jersey's on the thing. At any point, we're like, I'm about to play in an NRL grand final.
I think that definitely dawned on me at some stage. I just remember one thing that probably settled me down for my whole year at that time is Crusher used to always just come up to me and say one thing. And it was just get an early touch. Yeah. And looking back, obviously hindsight's beautiful. I wish he was there or someone was there just to say that to me every game. Yeah. Because that's all I focused on. Yeah. And I remember running, and then Desi gave me one job as well, was just to always run at my centre. So he just goes, just run straight for him. I don't give a shit where you are. Just go straight for that side. Because he wanted to be like off a kick return. He wanted to be there so then we could hit that side and then obviously do the rest of the play. Yep. So everything was broken down to a simple job. Yep. And then I went out like a rampant dog just to do that simple job. Okay. And I remember like GI putting up one of the biggest bombs I've ever seen. I would not even get near it for the rest of my career, but this time I just didn't care. Bang, two hands like that and run straight that way. Yep. I was already running that way before I
got the ball.
Exactly right. So
full of confidence, young, knew your job.
Exactly what you're talking about. And it's just everything broken down to a simple job. You do not need to worry about anything else. Yep. And that's what made everything fun. And then you do that job. You do it well. Get up. Shit, I survived that. Let's do another one. So like while there was full of butterflies and all that kind of stuff and excitement, it was just go for broke.
Let's go.
Thing. Yeah, exactly.
So you run out. So was GI the centre that you were playing? Oh no, he was 6, wasn't he?
He was 6 that year.
Yeah. Okay, so you run out. What do you remember from the grand final specifically? I mean, 40-0.
Yeah, I remember everything.
Everything.
Everything. I remember running around beforehand. I remember the huddle beforehand. I remember jumping into the stands afterwards. I remember all the tries. Well, I've watched the game, so you remember the tries. But I remember I should have scored the first try, but I overran it. Yep. And then, everything in between.
What was the moment where you're like, this has happened? We've done it.
It was weird because someone asked me the same question a couple of weeks after the actual grand final. And they're like, when did you know you won it? I was like, to when the siren went? Like, come on, man. Like, it's 40-0. You know you've won.
But you always worried.
Like, but here's the thing. Like, it's just because that job needed to be done. Everyone was scoring. I was just like, we need to keep going. This is awesome. Like, don't... You know what I mean? It's like it's like bellyache would be when you score 64 points and 10 against. He's like, I'm pretty filthy with that defense.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You shouldn't have let this in. Kind of
we kept going with that and it was all fun. And then, so basically, I think it was probably when I was like 36 or 30 something. And just before we scored the last one. Belly scored the last one, Steve Bell. Yep. So then, everyone's just jumping on him.
And then that was like jump on.
Yeah, and then it was just jumping on. I think I was half under or completely on top. And then just like that walk back. And then it was just, it was like 4 minutes to go. And then I was just really enjoying it. And then I remember the end and Robbo was filthy. Someone put a kick down all the way in the corner and he ended up kicking it dead. And he's like, why the fuck did they kick it all the way down there? Now I've got to run all the way in. I'm not going to be in any of the celebrations. So I ran down with him because that was the thing. I was still doing a job. Yeah. Like anyone else, if I was in a different mind state, I would have stood there and just gone like that. Yeah. But I was just like, nah, they're not scoring. I'm making sure they're not scoring. Imagine if they scored right in the bell to make it like 44 40 to 6.
So true. So true.
Anyway, I do remember everything. That was pretty bloody good.
What about after the game? Obviously, what did Desi say to you? Do you remember what he said?
Don't remember that too much. I just remember the excitement with everyone. Just running around being an absolute idiot.
It's one thing winning a grand final 24-16. It's another thing winning a grand final 40-0. Holy moly.
Yeah, you don't appreciate it either then.
Yeah,
or like,
you really
until
don't.
like now.
Because you're in the system kind of thing. Like,
Exactly
you're just part
right.
of the...
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's... okay, so, yeah, that happens. First year in NRL. Win this crazy premiership. What's the next year rolling in? You're part of the boys now. You know, you would have had a full preseason this next year. What was that whole feeling like going into that next year?
Full of confidence until we went to England. So we did the World Club Challenge.
Yep.
We won the game, but the last tackle of the game, I popped the right shoulder.
Oh, my
So
God.
it's the other one. And then, so rehabbing that, playing games, just a constant cycle back and forth. That was definitely not one of my better years.
Yep.
But at the same time, ended up making Origin that year. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just my vision of it or my memory of it, but yeah, that's how that kind of played out. So still with the boys, but still going back to rehab, back and forth, still doing my own thing. So I didn't get an op that year, I just played on through.
Yep.
And then, yeah, there was a lot of that classic thing, like, you know, second year syndrome just got thrown around in front of me, left, right and centre. And, you know, it's not until now I wish I just said, well, you know, everything's seen as a failure unless you win the grand final and have exactly the same season as last year. It's not last year, guys. Settle the fuck down.
Yeah.
But anyway, maturity comes with that.
It's like, there's so many things I wish I could tell my young self. You know?
Mate, absolutely.
Like, there's so many things. Like, it's just, if I had the mentality I had now, if I could go back now, there'd be so many things I'd be like, just do this and just do that.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Like,
Simplify the whole thing.
and doesn't matter who they are. They can be the greatest coach of all time, worst coach of all time, whatever. Just keep believing what got you there. You know what I mean? And I think that's
exactly.
It's you listen to other people's opinions that really don't mean anything.
And then those opinions turn into your opinions.
Yeah,
and then it really goes downhill.
Yep, and then it's just like a snowball effect, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so but still that year you make Origin. How did that come about? Were you just like, 16 months ago I was quitting.
Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, still riding the wave, but because that was after Australia as well.
So you'd already made the Australian side.
That was the end of 08.
Holy shit! So you made the Australian side for 08.
Same year, yeah.
Holy moly! Well, walk us through that. I mean, you were probably on the beers and they called you, or what?
Yeah. So any one of my friends would understand that my phone situation has never been great.
Hey, getting you on this show?
Yeah, exactly. And that's when I didn't lose one. So I ended up I don't know if it was broken or it just died or whatever, but no one could get a hold of me. I'm partying. And then I think Wolfman comes over with his phone and just goes, Zorba wants to talk to you. Peter Peters.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's our manager or just whatever at the time. And he goes, what are you doing, you dickhead? I've been trying to get a hold of you for ages. You made the Australian squad. And I go, piss off, Zorba. Hung up the phone and threw it. And then, or something like that. Or, along those lines. Just not believing it. And he rings back and he goes, no, you dickhead. He goes, I'll send you something so you believe me. And it came out in the paper or something like that. So I was just like, holy shit. And then we had to go downstairs to the media and face that after, what was it? 2 days of partying, 3 days of partying. So that was fun.
Was your head just off? Were you just like, what? Like, what? Australia?
Yeah. Mate, at the same time, I'd just been sheared by Robbo, cut my mullet into my head. So it didn't really matter what was going on.
You're just like...
I'll just fire. Yep. Just tell me what to do, where to be. So that was that. And then, we were in the EMU squad for the World... That was the World Cup in Australia. So, in
the EMU squad.
EMU squad.
So the EMU squad, for any young lads listening, it's basically the squad that isn't playing or may not be playing or could play later on, and they bond via drinking.
Correct.
Via liquor.
Yes.
And so...
Instead of putting your head in the sand, you put your head in the bottle.
And so, you walk into camp, Darren Lockyer's there.
Yeah. Lockyer.
What was that like
first?
For you?
And, mate, that was the part where it was then became real.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, you're walking in with all the other boys and other things were happening. Play grand final, other things were happening. This was just when, like, I remember lining up for these guys' signatures, 5 years earlier.
Wow.
Or 6 years earlier. So then it was then just like I kind of like just sat back and just started watching.
Yep.
And then just try to take everything in.
Everything in kind of thing. So who was the most where you're just like, wow.
I had a lot to do with Billy because like I said, never had playing wing.
Yep.
And basically, I'm a second rower with skill set. Basically, yeah. Like I can hit a hole or hit someone. It doesn't matter. I'll just keep running. But catching, positional play was still very much learning.
Okay.
I remember being in Brisbane. I don't know the game, but we were up at I think it was West training ground or wherever it is.
Yep.
And just watching him and actually just picking his brain something stupid and just going, what would you do here? Where should you be? Watching him catch bombs, how he approaches stuff. So apart from having more of a social interaction with like Fitzgibbon and Kirk Gidley was my roomie.
Yep.
And the other emus, that was the one where I just actually like
sat down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What do you reckon? What was it? I mean, you may not be able to remember. Was there anything that he said to you? It was like, man, that is so fucking footy smart.
Nothing too particular, but I literally remember this day how he used to take off from the ground and where he would be where a ball was. Wow. And how many, like, you know what I mean? Like how he would approach it and be in certain positions and how he would talk to other blokes and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm more of a visual learner. So like you could tell me anything 1,000 times. If I watch it once, I'll get it. So that's probably what I more remember.
Yep. Man, he was fucking good, eh? You know what I reckon one of his most underrated traits is his cardio.
Mate, it's fit as
Fit as. And repeat efforts at high speed.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't understand. There's fit, run for ages. So you might get a hooker that
can keep going all day.
Keep going all day.
But nothing explosive.
Yeah. Then there's explosive efforts.
Yeah.
Repeat on repeat on repeat. And I feel like if you looked at Billy Slater's stats somehow, he would be right up there with the best to ever with repeat high explosive
100%.
efforts.
Even now with like however long's gone on with all the science behind the activities and stuff like that, he'd still be killing it.
So walk us through that. Who was your emu partners? Did you play a game?
I played the Townsville game. Yep. So that was the one we knew we were going to get, which was PNG. Okay. So we had England. Fiji was the final, so it might not have been them. I forget the other one. Anyway, we had whoever we had. England was one, I know that, and PNG was our game. Yep. So we knew we were playing in Townsville, which was hilarious because we used literally just got pissed the whole time. Yeah. And then get flogged by Ronnie Palmer the next day. Yeah. And I've never been fitter.
Oh, really?
At the time, never been fitter.
You're probably just loving life.
Piss fit, training fit, had it all sorted.
So any obviously stories that you can tell of the emu sessions?
Not really. Like
who was someone you're like, bro, he can party and drink crazy?
Darbs was always good. So I had Darbs, Carmichael, Fitzgibbon. So he had the brains there as well. Yeah. So he knew, like, because he was at that stage where he knew what was going on. Yeah, the veteran pulling the strings or telling everyone where to go. Those boys were just like, that was nothing. Like, that was just basically just partying. But then I remember being in Melbourne and Gidley did his knee in the first game, whoever that was. So then myself, because he was my roomie, he's just going, where do you want to go? I need to go somewhere. Sweet, just tell me what you want to do. Fitzy would rock up and go, right, where are we going? Bang. So it was just the three of us. I remember walking in a basement down in Melbourne somewhere, just off the cuff, and just in a pool room somewhere and just getting troppo with everyone around. Yep. And I think it was full of Englishmen or something like that. So we ended up like, you know, having just giving them shit. Just back and forth. Yeah, huge banter. So yeah, they're the kind of the things that I remember about it all. And then like when we went to Townsville, everyone else was in that mood, but we had to stay sober. Oh, torture. So exactly. Just sitting back, just going, oh shit. I wasn't making my debut.
Yeah, yep.
Anyway, so yeah. So nothing too outlandish, but just consistent, and it was fantastic.
And so you put on the green and gold jersey, PNG. What's that feeling like? You know, like you're playing for your country. You know, like nationalism is such a bizarre thing because it really means nothing, but it also means everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty weird actually. So knew it was coming up and all that kind of stuff, getting prepped for it, but it didn't. I don't know, maybe because it was in Townsville, maybe because it wasn't like you're playing for Australia, but you're playing in the Townsville, you know, you're still playing in a country town type thing. So, and you knew you were part of the emus. Like you knew this was, like the rest game for the big guys. Yeah. So you're still a reserve. So it was the same thing. Yeah. Just go there and have fun and stuff like that. And then it ended up being a cracker of a game. I think I scored 3 tries.
Oh, 3 meaties on debut.
And I dropped one too. So I would have got the record if I actually caught that one. So,
no way.
Yeah, it was the first one. But at the same time, the same play happened the next set of 6 and I scored that one. So
would have the record, bro.
Yeah. So, but that was good fun. So that ended up being my debut. Yeah. And that was fantastic. And then ended up grabbing the final because Tate went down with a hammy in the semi.
Yep.
And because he was the first string right winger.
Yep.
And then, he was the centre and Izzy was the winger, or vice versa, whatever it was. And then, then he went down, and because it was just right side, I was right side.
Yep.
So I was assuming Dubs would get in because Dubs was there, obviously, Dubs.
Yeah.
And can play anywhere. So anyway, when they said, no, we're keeping right side with the right side, you played with these guys before, so...
Boom, so you got the finals.
Got the final.
So what was that like then? What do you mean?
Amazing, but I can't remember a thing.
Oh, you got knocked out? We said at the same time, got knocked out.
You know what about it.
So what happened?
That was the final we lost, where Sticky blew up a treat as well. So
I guess
that's the 2008
2008 finals.
Yeah. So
oh wow!
All that stuff happened after.
Walk me through that shit.
So I still don't know any of it. Like I had to watch the game to figure it all out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I remember scoring the try. So I scored the second try there as well. So I remember all that, which is great. And then the second half, I got knocked out. It was just head to the ground right there. So not a thing.
Yeah.
Kept playing. Like, the rules back then didn't count.
Yeah, you were soft. Unless you were fucking stretched it off. If you went off with a head knock, you were soft.
Yeah. So I just got up. Well, basically, I was still functional. Everything still worked, but I still just don't remember a thing to this day.
Yep.
And then, so that finished, and I couldn't tell you what happened. I know the result. I don't even know the result, actually.
Really?
What the score was. I know we lost.
Yeah, okay.
I remember having like a huddle with Sticky afterwards, and he was just blowing up a treat, and I was just standing there just going every 5 seconds. What happened? What's the score? Is this half time? Why aren't we in the sheds? So I didn't know because there's some call with Gallen or something like that, like a penalty. There was something to do with the refs.
Okay.
And then that was it.
And so what was Sticky just like blowing up at you boys or at the refs or just?
I remember him saying like it's just a shit way to end a good game or good season, good campaign like that.
Okay, yeah.
So and then he came out and absolutely ripped shreds off him, didn't care about the final or whatever. And I think that's when that was his last Australian coaching job.
Okay.
I think. Don't quote me on that, but yeah.
Oh man.
So that was all that.
2008. I couldn't believe that when I was watching that. I was like, what? We are such a better side than them. Like, how did that happen? But it happened.
Yes, it did.
But it's just footy. Sometimes, I feel like there's some teams or coaches or whatever that focus a bit too much on the science side and forget, like, if you just turn up as like, for example, you look at the South. When they played the Broncos, they missed more tackles, all that. All the stats were shit for South, but they towed them.
Yeah.
Why? Because they just turned up and ripped in for each other.
Exactly right.
And I feel like you got to get that balance. And Wayne, I feel like, has that balance. Bellamy has that balance really good, like really good.
I think Wayne was actually the coach in New Zealand that year.
Oh, yeah.
Or he was at least on the staff.
Coach. Yeah. Yep. No, you're totally right.
Yeah.
Totally right.
So you can see where they got their composure from.
And you look at England. England got into the finals when he was their coach.
There you go.
Okay, so that year rolls. That happens, and then you roll into 2009. The call for New South Wales Origin. It's weird. Like, Australia is big, but you kind of would have known that you're going in as the Emu. Origin, you're going in as the winger.
Yeah.
What's that like?
So it was game 2 because McMahon. So we went as a part of it. They did this big squad. I don't even remember what was actually going on or what it was for. I think it was just a media drive where they brought in all these players and said, you're in the running for it.
Yep.
And then we just thought it was a media thing. I thought it was cool. I got, just pull on a blue polo and just like sit around in front of everyone. Yeah, but like at least like you're like, shit, this is cool.
Yeah.
But it was the same kind of thing. Like you're still like, oh yeah, you're on the cusps.
Yeah.
So we the first game played, the boys lost the game won by like 2 points, and McManus went down with an ankle or a hamstring or something like that. And then I got the call up, and I remember I was driving home at the time. I think I watched it at a mate's place.
Yeah.
I was driving home, and then it must have been something else. And I was driving home, and then I got the call. Called bullshit on that too, and he goes, "No, mate, seriously,
What he said? He said,
I know
"No,
what you did with
bullshit."
Zorba. Just this is happening. This is where you need to be."
Yeah.
Drove in, kicked down the door up because I was living with mum and dad at the time. Kicked down the door and says, "Anyone want to get a fucking Origin?" So did that, and then then that was probably more real.
Yeah.
Because you knew that you're actually there to do a job. You knew what Origin meant, and at the time, I know it sounds bad, and like you said about nationality and nationalism and stuff, but that was the big one.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean, like
Origin.
Yeah, it seems weird, but and with Thingy being in an emu, it was just like, we'll bring you in because you're young, and then give you a crack, see like what you're doing. It was just like the same kind of thing with getting a lifeline at Manly. It just felt like the way.
Yeah.
Like I said, sounds weird, but then Origin comes around, and you're just like, holy fuck, like okay, this is now legit.
Yeah, Origin.
So and then ran out for that. Absolutely phenomenal. Camp was amazing.
Yep.
I think we had Barrett was in our squad, and we had Joey there as well. So. Good bonding session.
Who was the MVP of the bonding session?
Oh, Baz.
Barrett?
Baz, yeah.
Wow, Barrett and John's in the bonding session. Barrett gets the win.
Oh, they were both tit and tat. It was just a nose on it. But yeah, so that was awesome. And then played the game. It was probably not my best performance. Actually, no. It wasn't that bad, but three crucial things fucked me up.
Yeah.
Dropped 2 balls when I stupidly ran into Willie Tonga twice.
Okay.
So just shoulders. Fuck it. Just knocked the ball out both times. The second time, Izzy scored off it, so that was the worst.
Yeah.
And then the last one was I kicked on like the first tackle or reset, and I didn't know. So I was like, I thought it was the fourth.
Yeah.
Ran around, thought I had Darbs, kicked it, and then tackled him inside the 10. Or maybe the 20 or something like that. So I thought it was a good play. Turn around, everyone's blowing up.
Yeah.
Had no idea. Yeah.
Because it was so loud.
Yeah, that too. And then so the end score of that game was like 14-12 or something within.
Yeah, close.
Yeah. So I think I scored a try in the corner to make it like something tight, and then we were coming back to them.
Yeah.
So we were on like our 40 or halfway, and we just got another set of 6, a repeat. Yeah. So anyway, so that was and then I got heckled for that, something savage.
Yep. What, on social media and that, or just via...
Social media wasn't that big back then.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
As like what it is now.
Yeah.
I remember coming out, because we were at the Pullman, I remember coming out and just one journo just goes, so do you, it's like, how do you explain yourself or some shit like that?
What?
Yeah, just... What do you think's going on with your rugby league career or something like that? I can't remember what it was, but it was something stupid. I was just shutting the door, and like he was like halfway in the door.
And that's a journo that said that.
Journo, yeah.
That's disgraceful, man. You'd love to know who the fuck that was.
I found out it was just a shit kicker, actually.
Oh, really?
So they just sent someone down, just piss someone off. So then, like,
they're trying to get something.
Exactly. Yeah. So then you're not going to see him again, and then you're not going to not talk to him. So they'll give the proper journo. You know what I mean? Anyway,
that makes me so fucking mad, man. Like, you know how rattled you would have been after that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it means so much to you. It's one fucking decision. There's a whole 80 minutes, and then they sent the media, or whoever it was, intentionally sends a shit kicker down. Yeah. Knowing that you're never going to see him again, but knowing they could get a big story out of you.
Exactly right. So anyway.
Grubby, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. But the thing that didn't worry me too much about it, which was encouraging, was Bellyache actually goes, you're not, because this was the other thing, everyone's gone, in all the interviews about when I got picked up was, obviously playing outside Jamie Lyon has helped you get this spot because, he's obviously, you guys are having that pairing. Yeah. And Bellyache pulled me aside after the game and goes, mate, you'll be playing game 3, guaranteed. Yeah. Even like after we lost. So we lost the series as well, by game 2. And he goes, you'll be playing guaranteed, and it's not because of Jamie Lyon. I love what you do, like the energy and all that kind of stuff. Yep. Yeah, you fucked up, but and he basically said, don't beat yourself up so bad about it. Okay. You're still going to be there. Yeah. So that was massive. That was really, really big for me. You know what's crazy is we see this we see the videos and we laugh, bellyache, everything like that. And it's something you would expect him to, the stereotype of him would be to come to you and be like, mate, what the fuck are you doing? Blah, blah. But he's such a good coach that he comes to you and tells you pretty much what you need to hear, Yeah, exactly right. And that was after at the Pullman as well. Everyone's having drinks. I'm just sitting there, sits right next to me, pulls me in and says that. So that was, man. Still, exactly. It was still, I appreciate it more now as well because I'm still just shitty as all hell. We just lost the game. Yeah. For me, it was the game. For everyone else, it was the series because they played, but that was just game 2. Yeah. And then, he just said that. So we played game 3 and that was, we ended up winning, but obviously, and that was the big kick. Oh, with, really? What was it? That was Ben Cray. Oh, walk us through that. Yeah, Joyce Hassan-Hodges. Yeah. Then they bombed it for the scrap. I mean, tell us what I was like to be on the field for that shit. I was almost under that. Oh, really? The kick, yeah. It just went for Gids. I was in my section, but it was on our left side there, right? I was on the right wing. And you can just see him just go. It was the last penalty, no minutes left to go. Yeah. Getting the ball, bombs going up, or whatever they're doing. They're just going to throw the ball forward and just this is going to be on. Yeah. Anyway, ball goes up and it's going, fuck. Go to Gids. Anyway, so he launches himself up, and I've just had to run straight in after him.
Yep.
The boys have all hit him. I don't think anything happened after that. But that was more exhilarating than running out for the first game, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah.
So when they got the ball and they kicked it in the first tackle so that you would get the ball, I'm pretty sure, didn't they? Like they got
the penalty.
Yeah.
They got
And
the
then
penalty
they
for whatever it was, because I think it was an original penalty about a high tackle or something like that. Anyway, then straight to Lockie out. Lockie puts it up.
Yeah.
You know, like 10 seconds left.
So you boys knew this is on here. Like this could be on here.
Yeah. Well, we thought the sort of stink was on, and then you could see him just go like that straight away.
Lockie?
Yeah. Like in the huddle, because the time had to stop for this. So in the huddle, you see him going up, and then Gids comes over and goes, "This is fucking going up."
Oh, really?
I mean, he just goes, "Just get around it, whatever you have to do." I'm like, all right.
So you boys had seen Lockie go like that, and
yeah, I think so. I've definitely seen it on camera after, so maybe that was it. And that's where my memories led to. But
so you see Lockie go like that.
I definitely
remember
Gids coming over and goes, "They're going to launch it up here. Just get ready for everything." Yeah. So, I was like, all right.
Okay, so what's that? You know, that feeling of like, oh fuck, what was that like for you?
Mate, like I said, it was just literally shitting bricks. Like, yeah, on my side, so Izzy was on the other side. But GI's there, Hodges is there.
Would have been Darius.
Petro. Tony Carroll's there as well.
You don't want Tony Carroll.
No, you don't. Yeah, there's a shitload of other bigger guys too.
Maybe it was Hodges Inglis. Or maybe Hodges and Izzy on the other side.
Izzy was the winger. Izzy would have been a winger.
So Hodges, Izzy, Inglis, Boyd, it would have been 2009.
Yeah. But then the forward pack was something else altogether. And because the bomb went up and it was right on post, so not in depth, but like in the middle of the field. So then that was just umbrella straight in.
And so, I mean, it's a classic Origin moment. You know, obviously Hodjo's calling Cray out. What are you doing at that point, seeing Hodjo like doing these runs? Like, did you remember that, or you didn't see that on the field?
I've done the same as I always do. Like you're on the wing, you're too far away anyway. And then everything was going on. I think I actually had Darbs that year. And I just like looking at him, he's looking at me, and we just like both just like
Darbs is not going to scrap. Darbs is never going to scrap.
But it was just like, we might as well jog in to make it look like we're part of
the team. You don't want to stand out there and then everyone puts shit on you.
So, and then it broke down being like 2 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Now that was actually what it was. It was like 30 seconds to go. So bomb goes up. So they had a set of 6 and we had it on our line. So I think I had to take a hit up after Gids caught it.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that was fun.
Wow, that would have been fun.
But yeah, so that was my Origin experience.
What's it like? The strange thing is like you're just a person. I'm just a person. Obviously, we're talking Origin, not just NRL. You know, looking back on those moments, like looking back and being like, "Fuck, I was on the field for that." Do you feel like you're watching someone else? What does it feel
watching
like?
Back now?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Because you got it like the different mind frame of actually, hindsight being a thing. Like exactly what you said before. What you would tell yourself, your younger self, and that kind of stuff. So it does look surreal when that kind of stuff happens. Like I remember seeing something and something to do with the try, and I was in it, and then like just forgetting about it, and then just go, oh shit, that was actually me, like that kind of stuff. So it definitely is a bit different.
Man, what a moment to be a part of, though. That's a life moment that you can just remember forever.
And that's the thing now that I'm starting to understand and learn, that it is that experience.
Yeah,
we did lose.
Yeah,
we won that game.
Yeah,
but and I made errors there in that game as well that were very shitty too. But and I was just filthy on myself for 5 years after that for wasting the opportunity. Yeah, so to speak. So, yeah.
So that really stung you for quite a while.
Shit, yeah. I was the worst.
Yeah.
Still am. Yeah. At accepting different things and stuff like that. If we put it this way, if we won 40-0 in the final and I played shithouse, I would be filthy.
Okay.
So that's just kind of like the
similar to myself. Yeah, I'm similar.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's something that you got to Origin. That second game, there's a few things that didn't go right for you, and it really did sting you thinking about it for quite a long time, 5 years after.
100%.
Wow. I mean, and it just shows you people don't realize that's how much it means. That's how much it means. It stings you for years after.
And it doesn't matter. This is the other thing as well. It doesn't matter what anyone says, even though they think the chirp is there. I'm already fucking inside my head.
Yeah.
What anyone can say can't sting because it's just constantly in there already.
Yeah, it's so true, It's so true, man. They can say whatever they want. No words will ever be able to. No one's harder on themselves than yourself.
No.
That's crazy, man. Well, I mean, at least you got that like that last memory too, though, like the origin. You know, that's a fucking sick memory to have. Okay, so yeah, that happened 2009. You guys, how'd you go 2009?
We got pumped 40-6 by Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
So they remembered.
They remembered.
It's a sake of life.
First final. We had a pretty scrappy off-field run into that, and then.
So was this the year of the drama with the fucking doctors and shit like that, or was that later on before
the doctors? Oh, the calf's blood thing?
Yeah, the cow's blood or some shit.
No idea. I can't remember.
Really?
It probably would have been pretty early on. So the following year I missed completely, but yeah, it would have been around that time.
Yeah.
Because that's when we won and we're still up there, and they're like, oh, this is actually why, and they were dragging it on from last year, I think. So that probably would have been about it.
Calf's blood, like what? The fuck, man? The calf's blood. And so, actually, I was going to ask you, what? So at this point, you were like the Wolfman.
Yes.
When did the Wolfman become a thing for you?
Properly at the end of 08, like it was definitely in there, because I remember doing some promo stuff at the start of 09, or at least, a start of 09, so then it was like, this is actually a thing. I remember there was stuff in the paper about it, stuff like that as well, but the name picked up a lot quicker, a lot sooner, because I remember, again, the stuff I remember with Billy in the camp, he just goes, just like, what do you want to be called, or what do you respond to, because if I was going to be, he wanted to know. I said, mate, whatever you want to call me, I'll answer to you, like that kind of stuff. But then I remember saying, Wolfie's fine.
Wolfie's fine.
So, like stuff like that. So, picked that up pretty quickly, actually, because I think someone tried to call me, someone tried to say, how does a teenager grow a beard like that? And mind you could see straight through the bugger. It was wispy as all hell, stiff breeze would blow it over. But someone goes, how's a teenager grow a beard like that? He must be some kind of teen wolf.
Yeah.
And I think Matty Johns said it. He goes, well, he's actually, he's 21. He's not a teen wolf. He's a Wolfman. And then that was it.
So Matty Johns, I
think. Well, I never heard it, but that's what I got told. So
we'll run with it. Matty Johns gave you a nickname.
Yeah.
You had Billy Slater calling you the Wolfman. Matty Johns coming with the nickname. I reckon Matty Johns is the GOAT media personality.
100%.
In NRL period.
Yeah.
Easy. I mean, his talent and ability to switch between, hosting a show, but also the comedy side is insane.
Yeah, definitely.
And he has delivered quality for like 10 years in different environments.
Yeah, exactly right.
Please bring back Red Raging. Yeah. just bring him back, please.
We'll start that for the movement.
So basically that's how the Wolfman started. And did you enjoy being called the Wolfman? Was it something that, or was it just like, I guess...
It was kind of like, I guess we'll keep playing with it. It's a bit of fun.
Yep.
It actually suited my character because at the same time, like football, like where I take my performances seriously, I didn't take football that seriously. So like I was always joking around, like, everyone was saying he's off with the fairies or stuff like that because I was in like just doing my own thing around training and that kind of stuff. When it came to playing different.
Yep.
But like that larrikin nature was always a part of it. So then that kind of fitted.
Yep.
So then I could say, I start talking to my beard talks to me, and like that's how that all spawned as well. And now it's like, how long did it take you to grow the beard? Well, it didn't take me that long because the beard actually grew me. It's been growing me for 32 years now. Would
you like a face with that beard, or?
Yeah, exactly right. So it kind of fit, and I just ran with it. And it's not the worst nickname you could possibly.
No bloody way. It's better than Skirt. My nickname was Skirt.
Skirt.
Yeah. So like I was fucking terrible nickname. Fucking. I mean,
I'm enjoying it.
God damn it, far out. So I came into like. So they said to me, we want you to come play for 19s, Broncos side. When I walked up, they're like, we want you in the reserve grade side. And then that first year, I made the reserve grade side, and this was like full of all like veteran Broncos boys. And they were like, at first they were calling me Denim Hot Pants. And so that stuck for a bit. Oh, Hot Pants, Hot Pants. And I'm just this skinny little fucking wog looking dude. Just my first training session, I had to stop after 2 tackles because I'd never tackled before because I had nothing there.
Yeah, right.
And so like, that's how much of an outcast I was in the group, but I just seemed to be able to play okay. Yeah. So it started as Hot Pants, and then Stuart Kelly one day goes, Skirt, Denim Skirt. And then, bro, for the next 2 years, my nickname was Skirt. And like, because I was a soccer player, I was a pussy, and like, and I was Skirt. But what was good was as those older boys faded out and I moved into the NRL, I didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
And anyone that did say it, I just didn't answer to it. Yeah. And then the name faded away, so none of the boys knew about the Skirt.
Until now. Yes.
So I'm
not cutting this part out.
I'm comfortable enough in my sexuality, I think, to be called skirt now.
Trust me, I've worn more dresses than pants in my dress-up career.
Well, that's fucking crazy. Okay, so the Wolfman, you get called the Wolfman, and you kind of run with it, I guess. Like it's just it's you now. It's part of your identity.
Yeah.
That's sick, bro. That's so good. It's as you said, it's a fucking cool name to have. Now your business is it the Little Wolves?
Yeah, exactly. And it's tied in well because it's what the kids remember.
Yep.
So, yeah, I actually shied away from it for a long time just
Yep.
because I didn't want anything to do with football post
I was going to
career.
say that identity is like, it's so intertwined with each other. The Wolfman footy. Was that hard to separate?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Like I know now, but
Yeah.
the way I saw it is because I was so filthy with how things ended with footy that, just like, whatever, I'm done with it. I try to create, like in my business, I try to create something bigger or something outside of that.
Yep.
Like, I still answer to it. The boys call me. I've got no dramas with
Yep.
it. I'll still respond, unlike Skirt. But I try to create something outside of it. I didn't actually like tap into that and try to keep going with it because I just wanted to separate myself from football. It wasn't the name from the football. It was me literally. Like, I'm still Wolfman, but I wanted to separate that from everything I do.
Yeah.
So it was only until, last year, that
Yeah.
I said, no,
Embrace it.
Yeah, embrace it. Just embrace it. You answer to it like it's what you do.
Yeah.
So I remember actually the NRL at one stage, we were trying to do something in regards to merchandise, or the manager was trying to sort something out. And we had to go through them. It had nothing to do with Manly. It was just me. And then we still had to go through them because they said they owned the Wolfman brand.
What?
Because that they were like, there was no Wolfman without league. I don't think we went through with whatever we were talking about, or whatever was on the table. But
So
I
that's
just
just
remember
gross,
that happening
man.
as well. So then that kind of tarnished it a bit.
That's gross, man. That's so gross. Like,
It was nothing official like that, but it was just like that was a part of it. So,
but it's just like, okay, let's say you fucking make $100,000 off it. Does that and the NRL get 20% of that? Is it really worth it? Like, the Wolfman doesn't exist without you. We know that for a fact.
yeah.
What we don't know for a fact, the Wolfman could exist without the NRL. So, I guess if you had enough money, you could probably fight them. I mean, anyway, it's fucking ages ago. So
Yeah, no, exactly right. And I was young at the time too, so it was just like,
whatever they say.
It's not. No, it wasn't whatever they say. It's it's not worth it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't anything like, it was just for fun. I think it was something to do with footballs or stuff like that. Because I did a bit of graphic design, so I drew it all.
Yeah.
And then presented it, and they said, they can't do this because this and this. I said, no, just don't worry about it. It's not a big deal for me.
So 2010, out for the whole year, did you say?
2010 out for the whole year.
Oh, it broke your neck.
No. So I popped my shoulder, the shoulder that I carried from the World Club Challenge in 2009.
Yep.
Carried through that year, rehabbed it. Was bloody huge at the time too. Put on 3 kilos and was actually doing all right.
Yep.
And then the warm-up game for captain's run, round 1, dove for a ball.
Oh,
See you later.
damn it.
So that was that. And they said, well, you're at round 1. We might as well give it a shot. We'll rehab it. We'll approach it again in 3 months, 2 months, whatever it was. And then I just remember making a tackle for my test and then went again. Fuck. That was the year. So
it's 2010?
2010 didn't play a game.
Wow.
And that was the same year that Snake dropped out. Brett Stewart dropped out round 1 in the first 20 minutes. So I don't even remember what happened to it. Oh, no, that was... Were you at the Dragons then? 2010?
No, I was back at the Broncos.
So that was that year where I think we got knocked out because Warriors beat Melbourne.
Yep.
That was that year.
Okay.
And then we got dropped out from we lost from 4th or 5th.
Yep.
And then, just got dropped out straight away because we lost our first game. So, yeah.
2011 rolls around?
2011 rolls around. Yeah. Thinking things are going all right, and then had a horrid run that year too.
What, got injured again?
I was in and out with Will Hopper-Waddy.
Oh, yep.
I would get injured. Hamstring, actually shattered my hamstring, if you can do such a thing.
Shattered?
They called it shattered because it was so superficial, but if you looked on the x-ray or the image, it would look like lightning.
Oh,
so
wow.
if you see glass break, but it stays intact, just the cracks, that's what it looked like.
Fucking hell.
So anyway, that was happening. I would do my hamstring, he would do his, and actually went chalk and we were never competing for a spot because one of us was always out. It was hilarious. Anyway, and then round 25 rolls around and Battle of Brookie, I decide to drive my head straight into Anthony Quinn's chest and neck.
Fucking
and broken.
So you drive your neck straight into Anthony Quinn's chest.
Just went to get low. It was just
What's the feeling like? Like, as in your neck?
Oh, nothing. So I forget which side it was. I think it's this one. So it's just, you've had a stinger before?
Yep.
Same thing. Massive burning going down the arm. And then I remember laying, like, because I drove into his chest and just kept running. Everyone fell on top of each other, that kind of stuff. I ended up laying on top of Billy, and that's the whole thing where I said, don't move, because I just had this burning. I was like, oh, something's not right. He moved, and I went, just don't move.
Yep.
And that's when he's like, all right. So that's when.
So what Billy was like, don't.
Billy's just like sitting there. I'm literally like laying on his lap.
Yeah, okay.
So he's just sitting there like that. And he's like, and then he was telling everyone else what to do. But
so Billy's calling out to people, guys, just stay.
Yeah. So that was when like I drove in. We all landed on top of each other. He's trying to move. And then that's when I just like felt the stinger.
Yep.
And I was just like, it was just excruciating pain just from the burning. So I was just saying, just like telling everyone, just don't move, or like, just going, whatever.
Which translates to don't move.
Yeah, Molly Kerrigan talk. And then it's just like, don't move. And then by the time he ended up moving out because someone else had my head, it just felt like the pain kind of went. And it was weird. And I was just like, oh, shit, I'm going to get stretchered off for a stinger. This is the worst.
I am so soft.
Yes, exactly. So I get carried off and they're like, oh, everything's all right and that kind of stuff. I'm telling the doc, I said, mate, just let me sit up. He goes, don't move, protocol, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So anyway, went off to hospital, and it wasn't until, heard all the stuff going on with the fight. I heard it. I heard the crowd going nuts and everything going on. Didn't know anything because I was in the med room, completely different to the other spot. And then I was in the ambo before I think anyone got sent off.
Yep.
It all finished down. So then off the hospital, and it wasn't until we actually had the pictures done, he goes, yeah, you've actually broken your neck. And that's when it kind of hit, like, holy shit.
I was going to say, what's that initial, like that gut sinking feeling of like, what?
Oh, horrendous.
Broke my neck. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So I'm laying there just going, it's all right, guys, I've just got a stinger. Talking to the ambos as well. And they go, like, what have you done? I said, you're going to hate this, but you're carrying off someone just for a stinger in the shoulder.
Is that what you were saying?
I was saying that, yeah. This is a waste of everyone's time and resources.
Just shows you how, like, mentally as a footy player, you're so conditioned for extreme pain. You know what I mean? Like to think like, it's all good. It's sweet. Like, I can walk. It's all good kind of thing.
Yeah. Like they all started tossing it around when the Ambos got there. Like, this might have happened. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that. Well, I've never broke my neck, so what do I? But it doesn't feel like that. So this is what it's going to be. Yeah. And I remember just laying there when the bloke walked in. He goes, "Yeah, this is actually what you've done." And then I was just like, I'm done. That's it.
Really thought your career was over then.
Well, bloke walks in and says you broke neck.
Yeah.
So that was that. And then I ended up finding out it actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Okay.
There was no column shift. Basically, think of like a hairline fracture compared to a compound. Like, so it's just a hairline fracture.
Yep.
You can heal from that. And I end up doing that. So
how many years do you have left on your contract at that point?
So I had a 3-year with another year as an option.
In your favour?
In my favour.
Okay.
Fuck. So 10, 11, 12 guaranteed. Yep. And then the other one I would have to pick up, which was very lucky because I came back for 12. I don't even really remember. That year wasn't too special. I think it was pretty similar to the one before.
Yeah.
A few injuries in and out. Nothing wrong with the neck. No dramas. And then round 25, same game, same stadium. So still a brookie as well.
Yeah.
ACL. Right knee.
2013, did you say?
12.
Oh my God.
So 2 years in a row. So 3 years I haven't made the finals, or like I played, I think it was a potential 25% of the potential games I could have played.
Wow.
Even if Reggie's counted, like if it wasn't selection.
And these are all like, these aren't, like other than the hammy, they're not really soft tissue. They're like things that you can't really prevent. ACL, the neck. Yeah. Both those things are just things that go.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just done.
Shock stuff.
Fucking hell. Okay, so 2013 rolls around.
2013 rolls around. And then this was like, all right, like I spoke to my manager and said, we're obviously picking this up. Like, the option. And
they would have been filthy at you?
He goes, yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, so then we get around to the season and then, just thought I was doing everything right. And then my manager introduced me to this trainer. And he just goes, I want you to come meet this guy. He sounds pretty good. I reckon he can help me with your injuries.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. If anyone can even like help me stop breaking my nails or whatever, or like just I'm in.
Yeah.
So we meet this guy, his name's Sean Carolyn, and he just spurts this new philosophy on me about how to eat, how to train, how to just how to treat your body and also your movements and also your philosophy and your mindset of how to actually be a proper athlete.
Yeah.
And I couldn't care if he was telling me to eat manure tablets or whatever. I was just like, fuck it. If it helps, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because this was it. Like this is when I know I'm actually like, this is go for broke. When I was at para going into Manly, or like when I was at para for the last year, it's like, it's fun.
Yeah.
We're done. This was like, you have a whole year to do something.
Yeah.
Do it. And I would have been 27 at the time. 26.
The difference as well is like you had nothing to lose in the first one. You have everything to lose in this next period. Like Eels to Manly, you had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You've got everything to lose in this next.
Well, no, it was kind of like not everything to lose because it was still only 1 year.
Oh, okay.
But it was everything to gain.
Yeah, okay.
So that was the difference. It was just like, I'll go for that. Like, it was, you just, like, you played Australia, so 2 consecutive years, won a grand final, played Australia, played Origin, and then nothing.
Yeah,
For 3 years, you've just wasted 3 years of your life. And you're prime too. So 24, 25, 26.
Yep.
So we just went for broke. He just said, you got to eat raw meat. You've got to, stop drinking. Like, that's not...
Not that obvious.
Yeah, exactly right. Got to do this, got to do that, got to train this way, got to double your training, all that kind of stuff, and we're going to do this nonstop. And I'm like, sweet, man. I said, when do we start? And he goes, we just did.
Yeah.
So like we're eating at the table, and we was at a like Japanese restaurant. It's just like raw stuff anyway. And he goes, they're all eating like miso soup and all that stuff. And he goes, no, you can't have any of that. I said, all right. So what can I have? And that's when the education started.
Yep.
So then we used to train every day. After Manly training, drive into the city, train for an hour, 2 hours with him, and then still and doing all that as well.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and then changed absolutely everything to do with my lifestyle. I remember calling my missus at the time, who's now my wife, because I put her through torture that year. Like, I told her what we were doing. She's like, oh, yes, sweet.
Yeah.
Obviously no idea what was going on.
Yeah,
and then like she made it easy because like we'd be having raw meat, she'd have it as well.
Yeah, it's amazing what they do for you. Eh?
Oh, 100%.
So you pursue what you want. Imagine if she tried to make you do what she needed to pursue what she wanted. You know what I mean? You'd immediately think about how selfish.
Yeah,
how does
exactly right. Exactly right. And I think, I don't know, she doesn't care for football, never has.
Yep.
So, but I think she just knew that, this is what I was going to do and this was how I was going to do it. And she must have just seen the determination because she stuck with it and with me.
Yeah.
Idiot. Anyway, so.
Joke's on her.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we went through that whole year and that was the best year I had. Hands down.
Oh, really? Played some good footy, really good footy? And
ended up top try scorer.
Wow.
So, and I just remember coming out of performances. So my power to weight ratio doubled. Wow. I doubled everything in regards to performance.
Wow.
The funny story is that all they cared about was weight. So I was doing all these things and then I got told, I was 92 lean as fuck. Like looking like that.
Yeah.
And then, just got told, it'd be great if you put on a few more kilos, get to 95.
This fucking used to kill me, bro.
So I went to Sean, I went to my trainer and said, this is what's going on. After the blow up stopped, he goes, fuck it, tell him. So what do you mean? He goes, tell him you're 95. He goes, do they stand over you when you're doing the weigh-in? I said, no. He goes, just tell him. Told him. And then they go, yep, sweet, no worries. Tubes comes back and goes, oh yeah, you're looking really good. It's good you put on those extra 3 kilos. It was just hilarious, and that all played in the part of the mental thing, how that year ended.
Mate, I tell you what, I tell this to people, especially young fellas, and it seems so bizarre, but I say don't let them push your weight past what it's supposed to be. I said I played my best footy, it's light, at 82 kilos.
Yeah.
But I was pound for pound strongest in the gym.
There you go.
Lifting heavier than the guys that were 95 kilos. Yeah. And I was quick as anything, light as anything, fit as anything. And they kept, every year, it would be a battle with them. We need you to get to 87. We need you to get to 90. And I would, because I'm trying to be like the good team guy, I do it. I get slower. I get more injuries. Way more. Way more. I never had a soft tissue injury in my entire life. I'm an athlete. Like I've won national titles and stuff for running and never had an injury. As soon as I start getting up 88, 89, 90 kilos, get all these injuries. And I say to these young fellas, like, I understand you're in a team environment, but they don't seem to understand that there is body weights that suit certain people.
100%.
I think they're getting a bit better at it now. You see guys leaning out.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But when I was coming through, it was get as heavy as you can get.
Exactly right. Because if you're heavier, you can take more hits and that kind of stuff. But
nonsense.
like I said, pound for pound, that's what matters.
Yeah, and I would say to the trainers, guys, like, I'm never gonna be throwing people. I'm not big enough.
You're
but
the guy whips in around and behind them.
Yeah, but what I can do is step people and beat them off the mark.
Yeah.
That's what I can do every day of the week, and I can do it better than most people. And yet you take that shit away from me, like fuck, you used to make me so angry.
Cruel, isn't it?
Sorry, right, keep going.
Yeah, so that was that year, and yeah, like I said, best year I had.
Yep.
I got injured once, and it was from myself and my trainer pushing too far.
Okay.
So we were doing weird shit, man. Like if anyone was listening that was in King Street Fitness First of that year, would look at us like a bunch of weirdos. We were doing wheelbarrows with push-up claps through the whole gym. Oh, wow. Doing lunge spins, just shift and steal like you wouldn't believe. We used to sit on top of the leg press because we ran out of weights or room on those bars.
Fucking hell.
So we're just doing some heavy stuff, some weird stuff as well. Like I said, all the spins and hanging upside down, pulling kettlebells up, like all kind of weird stuff.
So like creating strength in movement, like strength that you're within the body's balance kind of thing.
Correct. So basically the big one was frequency. So everything's got to do with frequency. So it's in the nutrition side of things. If you pick an apple off a tree, that's its greatest frequency and it drops down as it decays.
Yep.
Similar kind of thing. That's where the meat came in. If you have it raw, you're having it at its best ability. Okay. If you cook it after that, you know all these kind of things. Yep. That was the mindset behind it.
Yep.
And the same came into the gym as well. Frequency is balance, is spinning, is all that kind of stuff, like changing the changing your cognitive perception of everything as well. So that's where all that came in, and it's just some weird shit. But like I said, the only reason I got injured that year was because we pushed my back too far. I was hanging upside down, twisting, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But repaired it within 2 days.
Wow.
That doesn't happen.
No way. 2 days. That's when it flares up.
Yeah, back spasm, and then healed it 2 days, played the next week, no dramas.
Wow.
So like I said, having the best time, coming out of games, doing my best stats, feeling fresh still.
Wow.
And I'm just wanting to do more. So the annoying thing is that we finished the way we did, and then I didn't get to repeat it the year after because I ended up getting suspended for the gambling scandal.
Oh, really? Did you get suspended for that?
I got suspended for a whole year. Well, sorry. Two-thirds of the year.
Wow, walk us through that. Like,
I got more than Cronulla, I think.
What? I mean, so what exactly? I mean, what can you legally talk about if there is anything or not?
Oh, mate, there's no dramas. There's no scandal.
Yeah.
It was just a beat up. I ended up, so I was doing basically not even thinking, and don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming anyone else.
Yeah.
I just did a stupid thing. I just punted on rugby league games.
Yeah.
No match fixing whatsoever. None of that shit. Wouldn't even think of it, that kind of stuff. But one of the funny ones was I betted on myself for top try scorer. Yeah. Got it.
And you got it?
Well, no, I ended up not getting it because had to split it 3 ways because of Tafura and one of the other boys, or we all scored the same. So there was 3.
Oh, so they got you on a technicality. Yeah. Fucking hell.
So it was pretty funny. But so nothing sinister about it at all. But
so before this all happened, had you been told, like, straight to your face, you cannot bet on any footy?
I'm not sure. I know it's clear cut.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Yeah.
It's not like it was. It's probably obvious to everyone else, and it should have been obvious to me, but I just wasn't thinking.
Yeah, just kind of like I'm just.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think I played it out in my mind as, you're not fixing anything, so let's not. Yeah. You know what I mean? I didn't see the harm in it.
Yeah,
maybe. Like I said, I'm not.
It's not. You're not betting on yourself to miss the tackle, even though you can't bet on that. But you know what I mean? Like,
no, exactly right. I was betting on us to I would bet on myself, like they said, to be top try scorer.
Yeah.
And like I said, I saw it as I remember doing that bet. And it was just like a funny thing at the time. I was like, fuck it. Yeah, but I was paying 50 to 1. I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, okay.
And then I was with my roommate at the time. He's just like, well, if you've been doing all this training, you'd want to be paying off. Anyway, so that was the year that all that happened, or the end of that year.
So 2013 or 14?
So that happened in 14. But the 13 season ended, we lost the grand final. I played terribly. Didn't need anyone else to tell me that, even though they did.
Yep.
And then still wasn't signed. I think I got a contract November 1.
As in, you took up that 14 option, or
nope,
you got
that wasn't an option. 13 was the option.
Okay, wow.
So that was a pretty weird year in regards to everything. So I had off-field stuff going on family wise.
Yep.
Had that training regime, going through all that, and then the whole, I don't know, it's felt like I wasn't getting any, like doing all this stuff and like performing the way I was and going through all hell for no recognition for it as well.
Yep.
So with that whole weight thing, that hit me harder than it should.
Yep.
And then, so signed for the 2 years after, which felt like a consolation.
Yep.
And then, ended up not playing
that whole
vast
year.
majority
And
of
so,
the 14.
So when NRL did that, like, handed down the, whole season suspension, were you just like, are you serious? Like, or did you feel like it was fair or not fair? Like, what did you feel?
It felt weird because I remember meeting my manager and he's just going, without being like, this isn't like a parenting kind of thing or whatever. He's like, what have you done?
Yeah.
And I go, what do you mean? Like, I shit myself trying to think of every bad thing I've done. We like probably got pissed on the weekend going, holy shit, what the fuck did I do?
Yep.
And he just goes, this is what's happening. They're calling us in. And I said, what's happened? And he goes, I don't know. That's the thing. So it was all like very secretive and that kind of stuff. And then ended up getting called in. He just said, don't talk. And then they just told us it was all it was gambling stuff. They went through they audited everyone's betting accounts or everyone's names and stuff like that, which seemed pretty dodgy in itself.
Yeah.
And then, that was the result. And I got made a scapegoat.
So you were the only one that got suspended for the whole year? But there were other players, I mean, you don't have to say who they were, but there were other people that had bet.
There are others, but I was definitely the most severe.
Okay, as in you were betting the most?
Most
regular?
Mate, I couldn't tell you, in all honesty, but just because I don't remember. But I think, what was it? Yeah, I think it was just severity. And, just severity, just how much it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. And so there was never a bet of Manly losing?
Nope.
Never a bet of you letting in a try?
No.
Or anything like that?
No.
Or you're a position first try scorer?
No.
So never any bets that could be considered match fixing?
No.
That's just, wow. I mean, wow. Again, I think, there has to be a punishment to deter other players from, doing that initial betting and then maybe falling into the trap of like chasing money and going, all right, I'm going to bet against, whatever. But wow, a whole year for that? Jesus. And then what, Cronulla got like 6 weeks deferred or some shit like that?
I think so, because they couldn't make the finals. So they took it at the end.
That's pretty rough, man.
But so
it's really, really rough. Okay, so 2014 happened.
The funny part behind that too was there was a coach or someone who actually said, well, if that's the result of betting on yourself for lead try scorer, then everyone should. I was funny.
Everyone should.
I was like, sweet. Maybe I'll do it next year.
And get lead try scorer again.
Yeah, just go through a pseudonym.
Okay, so 2015 rolls around, and that's your last year in your contract.
Yeah.
This is when you retire. This is basically when you quit. And how did that all come about?
That year was that. So after 13, like I was trying to come back from losing the grand final, and then finish by April. So I had to deal with that. Then coming back again to do that, like to go into that year, I was definitely not anywhere near the top. Yep. So I was coming from the ground up.
Yep.
So
mentally and physically as a player, do you mean, or?
Physically, probably, definitely, because I didn't end up training the same way I did in 13.
Yeah. Okay.
A few things happened there, and then just because I didn't play any football, and then other guys were coming in. So Peter Heku was playing then, so I was definitely behind him, and all the other boys.
All this young crop has come through,
exactly
kind of thing,
right.
and you haven't been there to be able to keep your spot, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly right, and they play good footy, so by rights they should have been there.
Yep.
And then so I ended up playing Reggie's most of the year. Wasn't playing good footy. Everything else was falling apart. Played a few first grade games. Didn't do too badly, but it just still wasn't what it was. And then ended up playing the rest of my career in reserve grade.
And so how did the quitting come about?
So basically...
Did they offer to resign you? Did you choose... Were you looking elsewhere? How did that come about?
No, I was looking elsewhere. I was looking to go overseas, but because I didn't hear a thing from Manly. Not before, after, during... Even now.
Well, so you'd played over 100 games for the club.
Just scraped in.
You're in the 100
Could
club.
have played 200.
Over 100 games for the club. And Origin, Australia, you'd been there for 7 years?
8
years.
8 seasons.
And at no point did they come to you and say, give you a farewell, thanks for coming, mate. just a thanks for coming?
Nah, that's the... Yeah. they had that was the year that they just completely whitewashed everyone, and Baz came in the year after, but still there was nothing.
And so all the reports around the club in turmoil, in the sense of like there's clearly issues here, and you really felt those issues because they didn't even speak to you, as in. Yeah.
I get what you mean. Yeah. It didn't matter what else was going on. Like it was just, it was just one of those years, the final year. Like we only played against, like, I think I played 2 games. This is actually, was it that year or the year after? Year before. I think it might have been 14, or no, it was definitely 15. So I was able to play my 100th game.
Yep.
My first game of 15, and then I played like 2 more after or something like that. And like even then, it was just, you're just scraping in because 3 blokes are out. So exactly. So it was just a torture year for footy, mentally and physically. And then, just by the time it all finished, it was just nothing doing. And then that was the year they probably just had more better things to do in regards to getting rid of half the staff and changing over coaching and all that kind of stuff.
So to this day, they, at no point they've rung out, reached out to you and said.
The closest they got was the CEO or whoever it was at the time called my manager, and it was a couple of months after, or maybe even like just around October, and said, "Oh yeah, we haven't spoken to Dave Williams to let him know that he's not part of our plans for the future." And he goes, "Oh yeah," because he very well knows better.
Yeah, he's your manager.
Yeah, and then goes, and they said, "Oh, can you let him know?" And he goes, "Nah, call him yourself."
Yeah.
Hung up, and then that
no
was
call.
It. Yeah,
no
and then he
call.
told me, and he goes, "I don't suppose you've heard from anyone yet?" And I said, "No, what was I supposed to hear?" Thinking I fucked up again.
Yeah.
And then he just goes, "No, this happened 2 weeks ago, and I told him to call you. I'm just making sure if anything, like if they did or not." I said, "No." And he goes,
Does that hurt? Did it hurt?
I didn't really care then.
Really?
I kind of don't now.
Yep.
But it's just the perception that probably kills me more.
Yep.
As in, like, you still get to have this everyone has this grand perception that, clubs are almighty and, they can't do wrong. If they drop a player, it's business. If you don't, it's disloyal.
Yep.
That's the part that's sort of like,
Kinda
no, that's not how it works, man.
Yeah. Oh, no way. I mean, to play over 100 games for a club, and so they just don't speak to you, and you just literally you have your last training session and you leave, and that's the last you've ever heard. Not even just.
Yeah, well, we had our last game. We made the final and got pumped in the semi for reserve grade. And first grade had their last game, which was round 25. There were no chance of making the final on the same weekend. So then that was it. And then just went out for Mad Monday, which was kind of like a pretty weird one because everyone was all over the place with what they were doing personally and career-wise. So, just kind of all filtered out, and that was it.
Man, that's crazy, man. That is crazy.
Life after footy begins.
All right. Favourite rapper of all time?
Favourite what?
Rapper of all time.
Rapper of all time?
Yep.
Oh, I'm not much of a rapper. Why did Willie Nelson come to mind?
Willie Nelson it is. Favourite movie of all time?
Favourite movie? Oh, Fight Club.
Fight Club? Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great movie. Great movie. I'm going to say a few names. First thing, one word answer. First thing that comes to
Hopefully
mind.
it's all not Willie Nelson.
Darren Lockyer.
Goat.
Just period goat?
For when, yeah. Oh, well, there's obviously going to be more. Yeah, no, goat.
Okay.
Definitely.
Andrew Johns then.
Andrew Johns. Oh, classic.
Classic?
Yeah.
Jonathan Thurston.
Jonathan Thurston. Persistent.
Paul Gallen.
Paul Gallen. Went to Thailand with Paul Gallen.
Really?
So I might leave that there.
Okay. Thailand.
Thailand, yeah.
Thailand. Sam Burgess.
Sam Burgess. Oh, glutes.
Glutes.
Yeah, even though it wasn't he. Yeah, because of Brothers Association.
Kalen Ponga.
Kalen Ponga. Oh, quads.
Quads.
Yeah, just
Days.
freak. He's a freak. Yeah,
absolute freak.
He's on his way to take over the mantle from Lockyer and Myers.
Yeah, he could be definitely.
Yeah.
Benji Marshall.
Benji Marshall. Same freak. Yeah. Just natural talent.
Shane Webke.
Shane Webke, engine. Just an engine room.
Who else have we got here? Who's been in the Tyson Frizzell.
Tyson Frizzell. I don't know much about Tyson.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
haven't watched that much footy?
No, I haven't watched that much footy. And I know who he is, and he's playing great footy, but yeah, there's not much.
Cliffy Lyons.
Funny story. So I play ice hockey now.
Yep.
because why not?
Yep.
And we had a charity game, and Cliffy, being Cliffy, doesn't say no to anything, especially when it involves around sports, decided that he would enjoy playing this charity thing. He ended up being the goalie. And I took my first swipe at the puck, missed everything, did a full 360, landed on the ice and took out Cliffy in goals.
Yeah.
And the goals and everything. So that's my memory of it.
That's him. Just
when you say
taking him
Cliffy,
out.
that's all I remember straight away. Taking him
Steve
out.
Maddai.
Steve Maddai. Best human you'll ever meet.
Menzies.
Menzies. Oh, freak. There's just not a drop of fat on him.
Yep.
He broke one of the, whatever the test was.
Oh, he broke like...
It didn't work on him.
Because there's no fat.
No, it wasn't fat. It was like hypoxic or something like that. A VO2 test.
Oh, on the treadmill.
Yeah, it got 42.
Wait a sec. Okay, so that is how much oxygen is in your blood.
Yeah, the volume of oxygen in your blood in certain periods and all that kind of stuff.
And Menzies broke it.
Well, it didn't work on him.
He just kept going.
He just kept going. And like, do you want me to stop or keep going? And because the level didn't change, it's supposed to go either up or drop dramatically.
Were you there when this happened?
I was in the yeah. So I was playing the years. I think that was 2008 because that was his final year.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, They made a shirt for him and everything.
He broke the...
He didn't break the machine. But the concept just didn't work on him. Yeah.
That's insane.
Because he just like settled. And then
and
that
he just
was
kept going.
Yeah, this treadmill keeps going up in speed, but he was just like...
And his body's just got in his zone.
He's just cruising, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's... I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And he was actually 70 years old when that happened.
73, I think, yeah. Still playing another 200 games after in England.
Wow, how amazing is that? That's the boys would have given it to him then, like I said, positively.
Yeah, exactly right. This guy, he's like, well, you didn't give me another test then. Anyway, they didn't bother.
They don't make it for aliens.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, brother. I know you got to go.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolute legend, bro. And I'm sure we'll stay in touch. And what a career, bro.
What a career. Keep on my phone, yeah?
Yeah. What a career. Thanks,
you, bro.
Man.
Cheers.
Well,